Let me get to this one. The Sorry Shoe podcast and a lawsuit. Once again, shout out to Checks and Balances. Y'all put me on this morning. I was like, what the fuck is this? So we ended up in paperwork, and I had to find out how. And I went and did a little bit more back homework to figure out what's going on with the Sorry Shoe podcast. So this is a real exhibit in a real case, right? And what y'all sent me this morning, somebody's post here talking about Epic Records and some other context. And these are exhibits. And then you scroll down the exhibits, and somebody submitted this exhibit of the Sorry Shoe podcast coverage, right? In somebody's lawsuit. So you see, this is when we were talking about Future, Metro Boomin, and Kendrick Lamar being sued by Rodney O. And he said that he's owed royalties from the song "Not Like Us," or not like, I'm sorry, like that, not like us, for like that, right? So we covered this, and I gave an extremely fair breakdown and fair assessment of this. Check it out; it's on the channel if you missed it. And this person captioned, "Shout out to Nicole Key 33." I really appreciate this caption though. She says, "Much respect to you, Rare Breed Entertainment (RBE), for breaking it down with clarity and integrity. You spoke on Rodney O's situation with honesty, balance, and respect, highlighting the importance of fairness in this industry without turning it into unnecessary drama. The way you reminded folks that business is business and people deserve to be paid for their work. Appreciate your voice in the culture. Keep shining. Hashtag respect. Hashtag hip hop commentary. Hashtag pay that man. Hashtag music business. Hashtag speak facts. Hashtag culture matters." I never saw this on my Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. I do get a bunch of notifications, so I never saw this from this person, but I do appreciate these words. And I think it's dope for us to have that reputation over here, people, us in our chat, for trying to maintain as much integrity and fairness as possible. You hear me say it all the time. I think Diddy's a piece of shit, but to be fair, I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? I always try to be fair and call a spade, whether I fuck with the person or not. There's footage of me on camera 8 years ago saying, in the midst of URL and RBE having issues, of me saying, yo, URL's the number one league. Because the moment I start lying or frauding, my credibility is shot. And when people do that, I tag them a certain way. That's not my character. So I always try to call fair. I'm going to be opinionated, and I could be wrong, but I try to be fair and have integrity. So I appreciate this, but that I couldn't stop here, y'all. Checks and balances. When y'all put the screenshot in the chat, I said, wait, but hold on. What are we being used for? And I had to go back and re-up because I said, oh, so this is them continuing to prove their case. So the same way we've done all these paperwork reads, people, on the podcast, and even Drake did it, for example. You see how many reactors were like mad at Drake because in his initial lawsuit, he put a bunch of reactors like Kai Cenat and No Life Shack and a bunch of people saying like, look how many views they did. Look at this tweet and look at this video that did 500,000 views. And it was like, yo, don't put me in your shit, right? That's pretty much what happened with the Sorry Shoe podcast. If you want me to go back and give you just a little bit of what I remember saying about that situation, from what I remember is this man who either owns a sample or a copyright related to the Like That song, he was approached by the label, I believe, not the artist. I believe what we read was he was approached by the label, and they said, yo, we got this song. We want clearance because Future will be on the song. And then later on, he gave clearance, and later on it came out, and it had Kendrick on the song, another superstar. So that guy said, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't know nothing about that. I didn't clear that, right? And I said, that's not right to do to somebody. If somebody hits, I get these DMs too. Somebody hit me up and say, yo, can I take a clip from your battle and put it in the show that I'm doing? I don't be ODing. I just be like, yeah, I appreciate that, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want, just put some RBE credits in your video at the end or whatever. And it's all good. I appreciate when people hit me up and ask permission. You know what I'm saying? But when people ask me permission, if it's nothing that's going to hurt me or nothing like that, I'll be like, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Now, somebody said, hey, I want to take Hitman versus Cassidy, repackage the whole battle, and put it on Netflix. I'm going to be like, wait, I need a piece of that. I need to be paid for that. That's different than saying somebody, I did that for Nick Cannon, for example. Like Nick Cannon reached out to us, and he was looking for approval to get some hitman footage and something that was happening. I don't know if it was Wild 'N Out. I think it was a show, a different show. You know, Nick Cannon got his hands on a million different things. You know what I'm saying? And they still wanted to send me paperwork for it just to have proof, so I don't flip on them later on, which I wouldn't. But they don't know me. They don't got to trust me. They're doing the right thing. Send me paperwork to sign, like, yeah, you signing off permission to do this. Oh, matter of fact, don't you know what I asked for? I say, hey, do me a favor, just ask Nick when we got this battle coming up for Hitman versus Cassidy or Hitman versus Calico, whatever. Go ahead and throw it on your story just to fly it. That's all I asked. Yeah, throw it on your flyer, man. I mean, on your story, man, to fly it. That's it. That's all, man. I appreciate you, man. Go ahead, take the foot, use what you need. You know what I'm saying? So if you repackage somebody's shit, or if you sell it in a way that the person didn't know it was going to be sold, somebody has the right to feel away. You know what I'm saying? So I think because I gave that unbiased, position on this, they use that in the paperwork to say, look, other people feel this way as well. They on the internet, this is the response. And lawyers and judges interpret stuff like this. So I would have never thought a year into us doing the Sorry It's True podcast as it returned, and then doing the type of paperwork breakdowns that we do, that we would end up in somebody's paperwork as a damn exhibit. I would have never thought that. But this is the case. Yeah, Barry White Family and Trust versus these folks here. Yeah, you see the parties here. You see there's exhibits here that they mentioned, the jurisdiction. All right. We're not going to break this paperwork down, but background of facts, songwriters, and here goes the song Like That. Like That is a song by American rapper Future and American record producer Metro Boomin, fellow American rapper Kendrick Lamar, etc., etc., etc. First claim for relief, copyright infringement, right? So I understand why they use those people, but thank you to checks and balances, because I would have never knew that we were in paperwork unless y'all seen that. Because I woke up worried. Like, I know I didn't do nothing to nobody, but let me make sure like nobody's gonna try to send me a subpoena. Like, what the fuck is what's going on? So nah, we not in trouble, people. We good. All right.